we've gathered 3 professional chefs to blind taste test every boxed brownie brand we could get our hands on and see which ones meet their standards. Pillsbury Dark Chocolate Brownie Mix.
Not that much of a chocolatey smell.
This looks like a nice thick brownie.
This is exactly what I would expect from a box brownie. What I look for in a brownie is that intense chocolate flavor.
There should be a richness and flavor. It shouldn't be flat or empty.
It's gotta have a crackly top. It's just the perfect textures.
I want my brownie to have a firmer edge and a softer center.
It should be either cakey, fudgy, or dense.
If a brownie is not one of those things, then what is it? Is it a chocolate chip cookie? I don't think that's what we want.
It's a little drier than I would have expected.
This is definitely a cakey brownie. See a lot of little air pockets. Air is not your friend when it comes to baked goods. Air is going to dry out whatever it is that you're trying to make, and that's the opposite of what you're trying to achieve with a brownie.
The crackling top is very nice.
There is a little bit of a drier, firmer edge, and then the inside is a little bit softer.
It's lacking in that intense chocolate flavor that I love.
There's cocoa powder in here and not melted chocolate. Cocoa powder tends to give you a drier mix. Melted chocolate tends to have a little bit more fat in it, and the fat is what gives you that smooth, fudgy texture.
I kind of almost feel like this might be the Ghirardelli one.
Oh, I thought this might be it, and then I totally doubted myself.
Hey, Pillsbury. Whee!
It says that it is a dark chocolate brownie.
For me, dark chocolate is the way to go because that makes it intense.
This definitely wouldn't hit you as dark chocolate.
It's a lot sweeter than I expected it to be.
Ghirardelli Dark Chocolate Premium Brownie Mix.
Look at that crackle. It seems to be a little denser.
Oh, I like the smell of this one.
Like it has a little more vanilla than the last one.
Very thick, but definitely fudgy.
Crunchy, fudgy, pieces of chocolate.
I think this has dark chocolate in it. I like it because it's a little more chocolate forward than it was sugar forward. And the lingering taste in my mouth is definitely chocolate.
There are chocolate chips in this one.
When you have chocolate chips in a brownie, it disrupts that smooth, velvety texture that you get on the palate.
Since this is not warm, the chocolate is not melted and it's hard, so you get a little bit of extra crunch in that. This edge is a little bit cookie-like.
Where the center is more of that fudginess.
If I had to guess the brand, I might say that it's Ghirardelli.
I'm gonna say that this is a Ghirardelli triple chunk chocolate.
Feels like it's a fancier brand, so I'm gonna go back to the Ghirardelli actually.
Am I gonna be right?
Yes!
Oh my gosh! And it's dark chocolate. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna play the lottery. This is amazing, I'm right. It feels more authentically dark.
This dark chocolate compared to the Pillsbury seems a bit more intense, but maybe a higher quality of chocolate. Dutch cocoa powder, cocoa butter. This is a higher quality brownie.
Duncan Hines Milk Chocolate Brownie Mix.
This looks like a blondie.
This one is a little light in color.
I for sure 100% know that this is milk chocolate because of the lightness and color here.
This one's a little bit on the sweet side for me.
I'm getting more of those caramel notes.
Because it's so sweet and so vanilla forward. This feels like more like a milk chocolate Hershey's situation here.
I would consider this a dense brownie. There isn't a lot of crackly top. You can see some parts of it are missing, and it's almost separating from the rest of the brownie.
Firmness of this brownie has more of a softer center and a firmer edge here, but not too far off.
You can see that it's really glistening, which shows you that there's a lot of extra fat or liquid in the brownie. Maybe it's Betty Crocker or a Great Value brand.
I would like to double down and say that this is Duncan Hines milk chocolate. I was right!
Duncan Hines, milk chocolate. Hello, how are you?
It says thick and fudgy on the box. I would not call this fudgy.
I think this milk chocolate brownie is a great choice for someone who enjoys chocolate, but not something that is intensely chocolatey.
Jiffy Fudge Brownie Mix.
I smell sugar before I smell chocolate.
It's not crackly. That makes me a little sad. That means that the sugar was not dissolved. Maybe it was just mixed together. There's some strange crystals going on in here.
Oh, that's wet. This tastes like it has dark chocolate in it, but not enough to make it a really strong brownie. Overall, it's very soft from edges all the way into the center. Can't even stand up to me holding it on the edge.
This is a cakey brownie. What makes a cakey brownie cakier, one, it has less chocolate, more flour. You can whip a brownie to add more air into it is how you achieve that cakiness.
This one's falling flat for me when it comes to richness.
I'm gonna think maybe it's a Betty Crocker brownie.
Jiffy makes brownies.
They make cornbread.
What I'm looking for in a fudge brownie is one that is fudgy. The fudge in this brownie is not coming through.
You're adding egg, oil, and water. So the egg is meant to give you structure, which is good. And because you're adding water, you're not giving the sugar the chance to make a craggly top.
For $1, this is fine. I'm good with that. If that's $1, then this is fine.
Great value fudge brownie mix.
This is really nice and high. I like that.
It looks like it's almost like an inch thick.
It's fairly rich.
Do really like the edge piece on this.
The firm edge and soft center ratio is spot on.
Yeah, it's very fluffy, this one.
So you can see that there's a consistency to the inside of the brownie. It was mixed well, it bakes well, craggly top,
Wish it was a little more intense with chocolate flavor.
but it's definitely fudgy.
I would say this is on the cakier side of a fudge brownie. I think this recipe used oil because it really gives the brownie that moisture here. Sometimes when brownies are made with butter, it tends to dry it out, or the crumb is a lot more crumbly.
Kind of feel that's maybe one of the fancier ones, the fancier brands. Great value. That's Walmart, no? Yes, it is the Walmart brand. This one seems to have more vegetable oil in it.
Which is interesting because oil tends to give you a denser brownie than butter, and I think it works.
Walmart, not a bad job.
Trader Joe's brownie truffle baking mix.
Where is the crackled top?
It's fairly wet on top.
You can see chocolate chips in here. They look like milk chocolate chips, and it looks a little flat.
Ooh.
This feels very sweet.
Reminds me of fudge that you would get on a summer trip to the beach.
I'm getting a lot of richness coming through, so I'm thinking possibly there's butter in this recipe.
This is interesting. It has almost the same firmness throughout.
This is a fudgy brownie. I really like the chocolate intensity here.
These taste like semi-sweet chocolate chips to me. A semi-sweet chocolate chip is going to have a little bit more of a sugar-forward flavor than a dark chocolate.
I would take another bite of this.
Oh, Trader Joe's.
Brownie truffle baking mix.
I'm not sure why they call it truffle.
Unless they think semi-sweet chocolate chips are truffles. Is made with Dutch cocoa and chocolate chips.
The Dutch cocoa powder in this brownie definitely comes through.
Dutch processed cocoa powder does 3 wonderful things that we love in pastry making. It makes it easier to dissolve, it has a deeper color, and not as aggressively bitter as the unprocessed cocoa powder would be.
I think this is a great brownie.
Williams Sonoma fudge brownie baking mix.
Has a semi-crackled top. It is definitely somewhat shiny here. This brownie is crunchy.
Like a chocolate cookie.
It's kind of sweet. I definitely have the salt coming through.
And it has an odd aftertaste to it.
Chemical flavor is not the right word, but there's something off about the chocolateness in this one.
You can see that it is very, very dense. Definitely firmer on the outside than it is on the inside.
This is a fudgy brownie because it's a lot heavier, a lot denser.
This looks like it has chunks of chocolate in it.
If you are going to use the larger chunks, maybe use a higher quality chocolate that will melt. Where these, I feel like I'm crunching like an M&M.
I wonder if this is a Hershey situation.
I think it's probably Betty Crocker. What the heck? Oh,
What's this?
Williams Sonoma.
I didn't know they made that.
the Williams Sonoma fudge brownie mix. This was not a great brownie.
You need unsalted butter, you need eggs, you need warm water, and you need a brownie mix. I think they use warm water in here because the butter is melted, and they might not want the butter to solidify.
I get that this brownie is dense in its fudginess, but that isn't what you're looking for in a brownie. You want there to be chew that's going to be dense. You don't need it to sort of feel like a heavy, heavy piece.
It's $15 for this box? Does it cook itself?
This brownie feels more like an obligation than a treat.
Betty Crocker and Hershey's triple chocolate fudge brownie mix.
It smells like the brownies that we used to get with school lunch, which I'm not mad about.
This one looks a little bit dry, to be honest.
The crackly top is missing a little bit here. I am getting a lot of chocolate chips in here. It's almost too many chocolate chips.
This is very chewy.
Feels more cakey.
It doesn't have like that chocolate intensity.
It's probably a semi-sweet mix. I don't think this is milk chocolate.
This doesn't feel like it has a super high quality chocolate in it. When I turned the brownie upside down, most of the craggly top came off. You can see that it's a bunch of holes. That means if you don't eat these brownies today, they're gonna be dry by tomorrow.
This is a fudgy brownie.
Firm and soft in the right places.
I'm gonna say Betty Crocker for this one.
Hershey's and Betty Crocker.
Triple chocolate fudge brownie mix.
Why is this box so big? A 4-pack, that's why. Chocolate chips, chocolate chunks, and dark Dutch cocoa. I do not feel that that's happening here. I'm very sorry.
I don't think triple chocolate is an accurate name for this brownie. I get that there's 3 types of chocolate in there, but it doesn't triple the flavor or the intensity of the chocolate flavor as this would suggest.
Sticky Fingers Fudge Brownies.
Sort of a blonde chocolate.
It looks dense.
Kind of sticks to the roof of your mouth, like it's peanut butter, when there's no peanut butter.
It's not chocolatey at all.
The crust is not as crusty as I want it to be.
Well, it's not a crackle top. It lends to some texture variances.
This is very wet and dense throughout, from edge to center. It's just got so much liquid in the mixture that it just doesn't even have a chance to give itself a little bit of personality.
Sticky Fingers.
Just add water, mix, and bake. Well, that's disturbing.
For this one, you don't have to add eggs, butter, or oil. This is not normal to not add those things to this recipe.
Dried egg in here already.
You really need an egg to make a brownie work. The egg yolk will give you richness. The egg white adds the water, and that also allows the sugar to dissolve, which is giving you the crackly top.
For a mixture where you just add water, it's better than I would have thought.
Simple Mills Almond Flour Brownie Baking Mix.
This one looks very brown.
This is a very matte colored brownie, which is usually not what you're looking for. Definitely more on the cakey side and on the less sweet side.
There's something here that has a little bit of an off flavor to me that is distracting from how chocolatey it should be tasting.
It doesn't taste like there's as much sugar in this brownie as other brownies, which again tracks because you're not getting the crackly top, which comes from the sugar.
The texture is very much the same all the way throughout, I find. I wonder if that's an artificial sweetener or something, or if it's a gluten-free one. Are you gluten-free?
Simple Mills almond flour. So these are also gluten-free.
Almond flour is not flour. Almond flour is just what you refer to very finely ground almonds. It's like how almond milk is not really milk. There's no, almond that you milk. This uses organic coconut sugar as a sweetener. Yet this doesn't taste as sweet as it would with regular sugar.
The challenge with coconut sugar is it's not going to dissolve into your ingredients as a regular sugar would in order to give you the crackly top, and clearly we didn't get it here.
I'm actually allergic to coconut, so the crew didn't let me have this one.
Betty Crocker Supreme Frosted Brownie Mix.
Ooh, does this have frosting on it?
Who does that?
This is super dense.
It's chewy through and through. I like that.
I really enjoy the topping on this.
Where it kind of melts in your mouth. It has like this velvety smooth texture.
If I take just a bottom piece of the brownie, there's not enough chocolate in it. So in order to get the chocolate flavor or level that you're looking for, you kind of have to add that frosting on top, which is much sweeter.
It's nice and fudgy, but it's not as chocolatey as I want it to be.
It does have like a grittier texture on the palate, but overall, as far as chocolate intensity, I think it pairs well with this brownie because it doesn't overpower the brownie.
It actually has a nice moistness. Betty Crocker Supreme Frosted Brownie Mix.
So here's where it starts to go south. It's called chocolate flavored frosting, which immediately implies that it's not actually chocolate frosting. So that makes me a little bit sad.
This is not a bad brownie. Make it, eat it, share it.
Otto's Naturals Grain-Free Classic Brownie Mix.
Okay, so it looks a little crumbly.
Bumpier, grittier. Could possibly be a gluten alternative brownie.
This actually has a crunchy crust to it, like you were to eat on the outside of a bread or something like that. The edge is definitely firmer than the center. It's very wet texture.
No, look, it's breaking. That's a no-no. What are you doing? I wonder if that's another gluten-free mix.
In a way, I feel like I can almost smell the oil in here. Do you get that richness because it's straight fat?
This one falls somewhere in the middle between dense and fudgy.
This tastes like natural chocolate, but it doesn't have a homogeneous, lush taste to it. It's almost a little woodsy, if that makes sense. I don't know another way to put it, but it feels like more of a natural brand or a natural mix as opposed to one that's more commercially produced. Otto's natural grain-free classic brownie mix.
Avocado oil or neutral oil. I see, they're trying to be healthy.
Cassava flour. It's derived from the cassava root, which is like very popular in either Africa or Jamaica. It's more glutinous than other flours. If you would prefer to have a brownie that is wheat alternative, I don't think it's a bad option.
Little Debbie's Cosmic Brownies.
I remember these.
This is my childhood.
Wow, this is very dense. It's heavy. So this one's definitely fudgy, I would say. I don't even have to try that.
Perfect cuts, perfect top, perfect smell.
This is definitely meant to be shelf stable. This can probably sit around for a long time.
Pre-packaged brownies typically have oil just for like preservation. There feels like there is no moisture in this brownie at all.
Wow, that's not very good. And I loved these.
You know, it tastes exactly like how it did when I was a kid. I didn't know any better, and I didn't know what a great brownie had. I feel like my childhood has been ruined.
If you want something really fudgy, that's the one.
It's not dry, it's just not moist at all.
It tastes a little bit like a chocolate protein bar. It has that sort of aftertaste to it. The color is lovely, but I'm fairly certain that was not achieved through actual chocolate.
It's quite sweet.
The glaze is very even texture across the top, a nice little distribution of the colored candies.
It's almost hard to get through because this brownie is so intense.
This is a Little Debbie Cosmic Brownie. Coming to mama.
Oh, that cosmic brownie was.
This would be different than a box brownie because it has to have a lot more preservatives in it. Anything you're making fresh in your kitchen should be eaten within the first couple of days or frozen. You don't want to keep them on the shelf like you keep these.
In order to get the shelf stable, that we definitely sacrifice some flavor and some texture.
I know these are aimed for kids, but I would still enjoy it, even if it's not my favorite.
Keto and Co. Fudge Brownies Keto Baking Mix.
This looks very fudgy.
There isn't that craggly top to it. That automatically implies is you probably have more moisture in here.
That's not a regular brownie. There's something else in here.
It almost tastes like it hasn't been baked.
It's not very chocolatey. Strange aftertaste that right now I can't figure out what that is.
I think there's not enough sugar in here to balance out the bitterness of the chocolate.
It breaks more than it crumbles.
That's one of the things that separates a brownie from a piece of fudge is that it's going to have crumb, like a cake crumb to it.
Keto and Co. Oh no. Fudgy and rich brownies. Get out of here.
Explains why it's so dense, because there's nothing floury or cakey about it. Oh, haha, no sugar added. That makes sense. You have to balance something that's bitter with something that's sweet, something that's salty with something that's savory. And if you only have one of those components, you're gonna get a flavor like this. It also has a sugar replacer with a lot of things that I can't pronounce.
I don't think you can have a sugar replacement that does all the things that sugar does. The chemical makeup just cannot, it just can't be the same.
This one has coconut flour in it.
Another coconut one, so this one isn't for me. Sorry.
As much as you want as a keto follower to have a brownie, you're probably better off just going with chocolate.
Bob's Red Mill Gluten-Free Brownie Mix.
This one looks like a dirt road.
We have a crackly top on this one.
It looks to be very dry, maybe milk chocolate here, natural cocoa powder.
The sugar is the dominant flavor and not the chocolate.
This is a wheat alternative brownie. I'm getting some, not specifically a grit, but not a smooth, velvety texture that like melts on my tongue.
There's no big distinction between the textures, between the crust and the rest of the brownie.
But it has a nice balance of cake crumb and fudginess to it.
This is a crackly top, but not something that we've seen before. That's shiny. This is more matte.
I think the brownie presents better than it tastes.
It's Bob's Red Mill.
Gluten-free brownie mix.
I was right.
2 different types of rice flour, potato starch, and some other happiness in there. I like rice flour because it tends to be lighter and it gives a little bit more sort of airiness and levity to things.
It does add some nuttiness to it. And I don't know that's that. I can definitely taste the rice flour in this. The brown rice flour especially is something that sticks out.
This brownie is thirsty. It needs more moisture, more eggs, more oil, more, just really throw whatever you got at this brownie. It needs it.
King Arthur Super Fudge Brownie.
Oh, he's cute. Why is he round?
This came out of a microwave.
I say that because the top of it looks boiled.
You can see that there's a lot of little holes in the top, so little air bubbles have popped. And it smells like raw cocoa.
It's sticking to the roof of my mouth. So this is definitely fudgy.
Doesn't have a balance of flavor to it. And it also has a really, really weird texture. It's like spongy on top,
I would say the chocolate's pretty intense here.
but it tastes more like the chocolate that you would squeeze into milk.
You would think that it's cakey, but once you bite it, no, this is dense. all the way.
It's just a one-note texture on this one, sadly. And that's what happens when you bake things in the microwave. It doesn't brown things, it just kind of cooks them and like makes them fluffy and then sets them.
There is like a pudding-like soft texture inside.
Always the inside is really, really hot, while the exterior is not as hot. And that's how it cooks.
This is one of the little packages that you buy for, put it in the mug, or maybe it even comes with the mug. Does it come with the mug?
Oh, it comes in a cup?
King Arthur.
Gluten-free again. Super fudge brownie. Well, definitely super fudge.
They're using a rice flour.
Kind of explains a little bit of the sponginess.
When you use rice flour in baked goods, what sometimes happens is they get that glutinous texture, almost like a mochi brownie, which is like all the rave right now. The rice flour is being better absorbed here because the water molecules are working.
Kodiak Cakes protein-packed fudge brownie mix.
There's no scraggly top to it. Everything from inside out is very firm.
This is very, very dry.
It's screaming for milk to dunk.
There is no fudgy caking. This is dense.
This does not taste very chocolatey.
Overall sweet flavor and less of a deep, rich chocolate flavor. This really tastes like maple syrup to me.
I do not enjoy this texture. I feel that this brownie is trying to be healthy and it's not working.
I think it's Kodiak because they make like a protein-packed brownie that is more firm. It's Kodiak!
Park City Kodiak protein brownie.
That's why, that's for the people that work out.
The protein in this recipe is coming from the whey protein concentrate, whole grain oat flour.
It has cane sugar in it. Because cane sugar has a larger grain size, it'll play in a little bit more into the texture of the brownie. It's not going to dissolve completely in whatever liquid you have. You're not going to get a craggly, shiny top on top. You're also going to get more of a gritty texture because you're still going to crunch into little bits of sugar. I think that the maple syrup flavor is coming from the cane sugar. Cane sugar is going to have more of the molasses and more of the natural flavoring.
There definitely are better ways to get more protein into your diet.
Let's see which products our chefs like the most and the least.
Overall, I have a lot of sugar in me right now.
Ooh, a lot of brownies.
My favorite is the Ghirardelli dark chocolate fudge brownie. The level of chocolate intensity that brownie had. I also loved that it had chocolate chips that I could taste and bite into.
Ghirardelli one was definitely my favorite. It has a nice rich flavor, it was nice and fudgy.
I thought the Ghirardelli was great, but the Trader Joe's was better. Felt like I was getting a richer chocolate. I like the chocolate chunks in there. That's my number one.
I might not be recommending the microwave brownies or some of the all-natural or high-protein brownies. It takes away from the essence of why you're eating a brownie, and you've got to stick with the brownie.
The Duncan Hines milk chocolate, whew, I would not call that a brownie. I think that it's more of a blondie. And nothing's wrong with blondies, but don't tell me I'm getting a brownie when this is a blondie.
Jiffy really was a letdown because I really feel like I can trust them with the cornbread. And then the fudge brownie that they said that was gonna be, that did not work for me.
There's still nothing like a fresh baked bakery brownie, but if you're looking for something that you can make at home, you definitely have some options.